Hi guys, welcome to the Knitting Expat podcast channel. I am here this evening to do a review video on Woods, which is a publication put out by Making Stories, and that is a company run by Hannah Lisa and Verena, and they are friends based out of Germany, and they've put together this publication called Woods, which is the first. They're working on their second publication at the moment, which I'm really excited about. But the first publication, Woods, is now out. It was actually released towards the end of last year, and their aim is to sort of share and educate people about breed-specific European, I'm just reading from the back here to make sure I get the information right, breed-specific and European-based yarns, and sort of more natural, less processed, less, you know, focusing more on like the non-superwash yarns, the more rustic, like I said, breed-specific and European-based yarns. And so they put together this beautiful publication. Like I wouldn't call this a magazine. It is a book. It is a beautiful. It is one of those types of magazines that you could put on your as like a coffee table book or something. It is so beautifully put together. Just the feel of it is amazing. It feels good in your hands. It feels really good quality, and the content is amazing. There is so much in here. As an overall, there are 11 patterns in here, ranging from like socks and mittens to sweaters and pullovers. There's a dress pattern, there's a scarf, like I said, socks and mittens, I think, and a hat. I think there's also a hat pattern in here, yep. And yeah, and there's interviews with both the designers of the patterns as well as the people behind the yarn who, that are featured in the magazine. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the right words. There are also some articles on, there's an article in here on sock knitting, and an article about, I think it was about sweaters as well in here, construction. And there are tutorials throughout, like for seaming, for casting on, for kitchenering, for all sorts of skills that you will need to be able to work the patterns. There's a whole range of different types and styles of patterns, from color work to cables to lace. Like, literally covers a whole range of things. So there's a tutorial on sizing, which I think is actually a really good one. I'm just trying to find, yeah, so not tutorial, well, it's marked as being a tutorial in the contents, but they have an article on sizing and how to, like, you know, make the patterns work for you. And I've tabbed a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to show you in here that I liked. So yeah, these mittens are absolutely stunning. These are the Puzzlewood mittens. They're so beautiful, and it's just definitely on my list of ones I would like to make. And Blackie, I believe it was, yeah, knit out of Blackie yarns, which is a yarn company that I really enjoy. I really enjoy. I love what they do. I've never actually worked with their yarn. I have actually worked with their yarn. That's a lie. I have worked with their yarn. I did a review of their Blacker brushwork yarn earlier last year, but I haven't, like, I have some of their yarn in my stash. I just haven't gotten around to knitting with it yet. So I'm waiting for that special project to come along. So maybe those mittens might be it. We'll have to see. Then there's the Delamere dress, which is the dress pattern in here, and I absolutely love this version of it, the fitted version. I'm not sure if I would knit that for myself yet, just because I'm not entirely happy with my size right now, which is a whole other story. And I'm okay with my size right now because I've just, you know, had a baby last year, and it's not a big deal, and I'm in no rush or anything like that. But, you know, eventually I would love to knit myself a dress, and I think this would be a really beautiful dress. There's a fitted version, which is the purple version, and there's also a looser tunic style version, which I like the look of, and it's probably more something I would wear now. I only wouldn't knit it for myself just because I know it would just look like a tent on me. And I have some dresses, actually the one I'm wearing now is kind of that style, where it is basically a tenty type of dress, which I don't mind for just wearing around the house or just popping out to the shops to get something, but it's not something I want to invest that much time in knitting for myself, because it's just not that flattering. But eventually this one, I'll be knitting that at some point. Don't know how I went off on that tangent. I absolutely love this pullover as well. It's I'm going to mispronounce this name. I think it's called the Sovabellin sweater. It's this cabled pullover. It's all cables down the front. The rest of it is in plain stockinette, so as you can see, I think this is actually would be a very approachable sweater for someone who's knit sweaters before, knit pullovers before, but hasn't necessarily tackled cables as such, or wants to start tackling cables in a garment. So this isn't all over cabled, it's just cabled down the front. The rest is in stockinette, so you've got that break, so you're not cabling everything, but it has enough cabling and texture on the front to really be a standout in your wardrobe, and I really like it for that reason. Then we have oh, and there's an article here on sock construction by Claire Devine, who is a very prolific sock designer and has some beautiful patterns as well. This pattern isn't actually by her, but she did the article, and this pattern is in the book. I just can't remember what it's called right now. I don't know if I have it tabbed separately. Oh, the Abisco socks. It's a really beautiful pattern. Sorry about that, my camera ran out of space and I had to delete some footage, so if the setup is slightly moved a little bit, then I'm sorry about that. But that's where I stopped off, was I was going to show you they have an article or tutorial in here on heel construction, which I thought was really great. The heel pattern that is provided as part of a sock pattern might not always necessarily be the best fit for you, and so you might want to try something different. So they actually have 3 different heel patterns in here. There's the afterthought heel, short row heel, and gusset and heel flap heel instructions as a tutorial in here with pictures and everything, so you can see what you're doing, which I thought was really helpful. Then there is the Solanze hat in here as well, which is has this really beautiful sort of like texture on it, with fun sort of cuff detail at the beginning and the brim. So I think that would be a really fun quick knit as well. And where was the other one? I'm not showing every single pattern or like tutorial in here. I just wanted to pick out a few bits to show you, give you a taste. Then there's the Black Forest cardigan, which was actually designed by Verena, who's one of the creators behind the magazine as well. She's also a knitwear designer. And it is a beautiful, sort of lovely, very beautifully textured with fisherman's rib, which I find gives a very brioche-like texture to knitting. It's actually one that I've used before in a pattern, so I really like it. And I love the big oversized sort of shawl collar effect as well. It looks, and this detail on the front here, that's a stunning feature. I really like that. And then the last thing I wanted to show you quickly was, I like how the actual book is laid out in terms of the way the patterns are done. So everything I've shown you, it's just they show you the photos of the patterns, and so you get introduced to the actual design, and then they go on to have you have the interview with the designer, and then you have the interview with the yarn that was used, or the yarn manufacturer that was used for the pattern. But then later in the book, towards the back, you have the actual patterns laid out. So all the patterns are at the back of the book in a separate section. So it allows for like nice easy reading through the main part of the book. And then when you want to get to the actual pattern part, you know, you've just got the pattern, you're not cluttered with loads of pictures and stuff there. And I find that that's actually quite helpful. They have a big page at the start of the pattern section with all the abbreviations explained and everything that's used in there. And I really like it. I like how it's laid out. Personally, if I was going to be knitting one of the patterns out of this book, what I would probably do is photocopy the pattern pages that I wanted to use, and then work off the photocopy, because I'm the kind of person that tends to scribble a lot of notes on my patterns as I'm working on them and making notes if I've made any modifications, or I want to keep track of like row counts or anything, then I will actually make notes on the physical pattern. But I wouldn't want to write on this myself personally. I mean, you can if you wanted to, but I wouldn't want to. I would like to keep this nice and pristine, so I'd probably just copy the pages that I wanted to use for the pattern I was working on. And then also then it's more portable as well, just to have a few pages in your project bag with your work rather than carrying this around with you, and saves it getting damaged in transit if you're moving around with your work. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I really enjoyed enjoyed this magazine. I hesitate to call it a magazine, but it's also not exactly a book. What do you call something that's not a magazine but also not quite a book? It's something in between, but it's beautiful. The photography is really beautifully styled. The articles are really well written, well thought out. The interviews are interesting and enlightening as well in some cases. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I will be honest, I haven't completely read it cover to cover yet. I've sort of picked out bits here and there where I've had a chance to sit and read it. But I do really enjoy it, and I have enjoyed it, and I know I will enjoy dipping in and out of it over time. And so yeah, that's my review of Woods by Making Stories, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come out with in their next publications, in their coming publications. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it somewhat interesting. I will have links to the Making Stories website down below where you can find out how to purchase your copy if you are interested in getting one. They are based out of Germany, so it will be coming from Germany, but I from my recollection, shipping is very reasonable. And yeah, so I'll be back with you guys again soon. All right, take care. Bye.